Hey everyone, it's the Financial Reboot Investment Team with your daily live market updates. Sorry we're a little late today. There's a lot to disseminate from the market today. A lot going on, you know. Trump revealed his tax reform plan. He nominated his Fed leader today to replace Janet Yellen. Got some big stuff happening tomorrow with the jobs number, and of course we had Apple after the bell. There's also some fun Bitcoin stuff to talk about. So let's get right into it. Yeah, Trump revealed his tax reform plan today, and it's the usual entertainment from Congress. It doesn't matter if it's a good idea or a bad idea. It matters where it came from. Uh, any idea from Trump, no matter how good, how much it might help the American people, the Democrats are immediately going to jump against it. And you saw that today. Before before the report was even released, already Schumer and Pelosi and them were hitting their talking points without even knowing what was in the package. So that's kind of interesting. Something interesting too was Donna Brazil came out today and accused Hillary Clinton of railroading Bernie Sanders in the primary. And this is really interesting coming from the woman that gave her the questions to the debate before the Trump debate. Yeah, it's a little of the pot calling the kettle black. It's really, really the way politics are right now. If you believe any of them, you're a fool. We trade on real stuff. So, another thing that happened today, the Bank of England raised rates 0.5%. This is the first time they've raised in a decade, and they said they're going to raise gradually going forward. So, everybody thought this might pump up the pound, but actually it had a negative effect on it. And the reason is it was pretty dovish. They raised rates today, but pretty much they're not going to make any moves until they see how the Brexit settles in. So we'll see how that goes in. You remember that cut was uh, that they did last decade. The last time they did the emergency cut was in August of 2016, and this raise today actually just reverses that. So it's really a tit for tat. Um, Other than that, we had Apple. Apple after the bell, blowout earnings, stocks up, rocking and rolling. All you Apple shareholders, congratulations. We didn't play the earnings on Apple, but we cashed in some winners today. We talked about we were going Twitter short. We even called the play for you guys if you wanted to play along. We cashed that in today at about 65%. Cashed in a Macy's short. We cashed that in at about 59%. We're still long gold, and we've been talking about consumer staples the last couple of weeks, or the last couple of days, excuse me. And we finally went long today, and as promised, we will let you know what the play is. We bought calls in January. I believe there are $60 strikes, but I'll check the strike on that for you later. But we went out to January. We went up a couple bucks, and uh, we're pretty confident with the consumer staples in the winter season. Generally, they do good over November, December. We talked about yesterday too that November and December are usually good months for the market. I think it's about a 69% chance that it'll be a rally, 2-3%. But today the markets were kind of flat, except for the Dow. Of course, the Dow made its record. Yeah, the S&P finished up 0.49. Oh my God, that's nothing. And the Nasdaq finished flat. The VIX didn't flash any fear signals. Actually, it flashed complacency today. It was down another almost 3%. But you can see on the screen, Apple blows past Wall Street expectations. Remember, we were talking about this the last week's shows. We were talking about how so many people were coming out and saying, just criticizing the Apple phone and this and that, and how it was going to hurt the stock. Well, it turned out to be the opposite. Phone sales are just doing really well. Look, it's an iPhone. They have a really great base of users, and there's nothing that's going to break that. Even $1,000 price tag. Um, Kudos to Apple. Broke the $900 billion market cap, and that's just massive. Apple's just chugging along. So if you're an Apple shareholder, hey, kudos to you. Good job. Hope you make even more money on the trade. Last earnings season is kind of funny. Our newsletter subscribers will remember we played earnings last earnings season, and we it made us a little gun shy on this one. I don't know. I know you're supposed to shake them off, but Anyway, so oil today, oil was up about 35 cents, not much. It's still fluxing around that 54, $55 level, and as long as it stays over $50, it's pretty healthy. So, again, like we said yesterday, somebody was asking us, what do we like in oil? Well, really, we're not playing anything right now, but a stock that we like, and if you're into oil, go check it out. WPX, it's a nice little company, turnaround deal. I believe it's trading at about $12 right now, but it's a nice little company. If you're interested in oil, go take a look at it. When we play oil, we either play that or OIH, which is the oil ETF. Just to share that with you. Gold, we're still long gold. Gold's been kind of bouncing around that 12.77, 76, 78 level all day long. It was up to as high as 12.81 last night, probably in anticipation of the Bank of England and this tax reform, depending on how the market would digest it. It looks like the market was okay with it, judging by the way things went. So, Apple sales are up 50%, man, or Apple Watch sales. That's pretty good. So, Facebook's revenue per user top $5 for the first time. That's important to Facebook, in future earnings. Other than that, Facebook's pretty flat right now. We actually, in some of the accounts, own some Facebook way back from $90. Uh, Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell, Donald Trump, President Trump, uh, nominated him as his replacement for Janet Yellen. This is pretty much just exchanging the parts. Powell should be good for guiding us through this exit of QE. He's probably a really good choice. I mean, of course, the proof's in the pudding. We'll see how he does. But if Janet Yellen did a great job, I was one of those over the years that at times really criticized her, and I have to admit that she did a fantastic job when Trump was acknowledging her today when he was nominating Mr. Powell. He said some very kind words, and she did. She did a good, great, great job, and she did it under a lot of duress from people like myself. So good luck to Jerome Powell. Of course, he's got to get confirmed. So we'll see how that goes, and then and not much else in the news today. It was basically the Apple earnings after the bell. It was a flat market most of the day. It kind of just teetered up and down. Uh, Not much happening. People were waiting to see Apple's earnings. The Tesla miss and stuff like that kind of shook up tech a little bit. And we had something really huge happen today. We had Bitcoin. Bitcoin went over $7,000. All you Bitcoin players, congratulations. I hope that thing goes to 10 grand, 20 grand, 100 grand for you guys. If you're in Bitcoin, kudos. We've been watching Bitcoin, but we didn't really see anything that was a trigger for this except for demand. So, like I said, yeah, good job, all you Bitcoin players out there. We're still getting set up to trade some Bitcoin, but I don't know if we'd enter at 7,000, but we'll take a look at it. And if we do anything, we'll keep you updated like we always do. Um, Other than that, it was pretty much a listless day. We just kind of floated around that number most of the day. And tomorrow we've got some big stuff happening. We've got the jobs number tomorrow for us. We've got the jobs results for Canada before that. So it is going to be interesting to see how the continent of North America is doing with job growth and all that. So it's going to be interesting how that works out. Anyways, they're expecting 15,000 jobs, and the unemployment rate to stay at 6.2% in Canada. The U.S., we're expecting to add about 310,000 jobs, and the unemployment rate currently at 4.2%. We're expecting that to stay even. We'll see. We'll see how this report comes out. Remember, we had the big hurricanes last month in October, and that really hurt the jobs number. Let's see if we get that recovery, that bounce back tomorrow. Hourly earnings, which has been kind of a focus for the Fed for a while, they grew at 0.5%, 0.05%, I believe the last report. They're only expecting 0.02% on this one. So they're not expecting much wage growth, if any. Actually, it's a little shrinkage there. So that's kind of a thorn in the Fed's side right now. We're getting jobs, we're getting people to work, but if the number keeps shrinking, we're not paying them as much. So that makes a big difference. So, you know, We're going into tomorrow. We've got the jobs report. Not much on the earnings front. Nothing really significant besides the Canadian labor, the jobs labor, and then we'll see how the follow through goes on this Trump tax reform. It all depends how convincing the Republicans can be on this side. They seem to have their selves together as a group. I mean, you look at Obamacare, you look at all the failed uh, programs that they've tried to install up to now. The problem hasn't been the Democrats. The problem has been the Republicans. They can't get on the same page. They can't even get their own side to vote for things. So uh, that's been the nail in the coffin for all of these programs. So we'll see if on this tax reform they can get everybody in the same boat and maybe get some Democrats in there too. We'll see. It'll be an interesting news cycle. Regardless, we'll see because in the Democrats that vote against this, are they going to be considered that they're anti-American, that they don't want you to make more money, that they don't want you to pay less taxes, that they don't want you to keep more of what you earn? We'll find out. Like I said, immediately, even before the actual package came out, you had Pelosi and Schumer and a bunch of others. I saw Kamala Harris was making some comments on Twitter, but all these Democrats were on their talking points without even seeing the program. So, this could be the big problem going down the right road for the Democrats because actually a path to take back the Congress was open there for the last couple of weeks. The Republicans basically look like the Keystone Cops on their Obamacare overhaul or their repeal and replace, and they just couldn't get it together. They were just in a constant Chinese fire drill, those guys. And it seems like they've really unified on this. So it's going to be interesting to see going forward if they can push this through. So, anyways, we'll see how the morning goes. Like I said, there's not much on the earnings front, but these jobs reports come out before the market. So, guys, be a little cautious out there. There's a lot of talk of bubbles and things like that. All the bubble talk I saw today was on Bitcoin, though. But look, Bitcoin right now is at historical highs. This is uncharted territory for Bitcoin. So don't get gun shy and don't get trigger happy with the fluctuations in it. Remember, it's setting precedent right now. Um, Pullbacks seem to be pretty normal for Bitcoin. We watched it go to 5,000 and what it pulled back to 4,500. It went way down, went right to 6,000. At 6,000, it did the same thing. It pulled back. It looked like an ugly sell-off, and then it just bounced, and now it's at 7,000. So, all you Bitcoin players, the best advice we can give you is just don't be trigger happy and don't be emotional on this because uh, if you're in that trade, it looks good. It's very bullish. From what I see on technical indicators, it looks strong. But you never know. It's a pure supply and demand market, right? There's really no regulation on it. So it's not manipulated by market makers or anything like that. So, all you Bitcoin players, congratulations! Like I said, if you're following along with us, we entered the XLP today, which is your consumer staples. Consumer staples traditionally do well in the winter months. We bought our options out to January. Give them a little time to play there in the sun, and we cashed in, like we said, we cashed in our Twitter short, nice 68%, 67, 68% win. We cashed in a Macy's short. We got a big win on that. We just came off that gold win. We're back in gold. We're long this time. So we're not playing Bitcoin. But, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching the show today. Don't forget, if you want to get in on these plays, if you want to get those 68% wins, if you want to get those 58% wins, you see how we do it. It doesn't matter which way the market's going. We play long, we play short, but we win. So if you guys are interested in getting on that newsletter, the office has a great deal on it. There's a link below this. Absolutely click the link and check it out. Um, Other than that, if you got any questions for the show tomorrow, just post them in the comments. If you got any other kind of comments, if you're gonna flame us, please don't. Anyways, we're just having a little fun on Thursday afternoon. It's kind of late in the office here, but the big, big, big event for us, the traders in Hawaii, is next week. It's daylight savings time. The market will open at 4:30 a.m. instead of 3:30 a.m. So that's what we're all looking forward to. Also, congratulations to the Houston Astros for winning an incredible World Series. Thank you both teams for making it great to watch. Let's see how the market opens up tomorrow. Let's see how these job reports go through, and then we'll talk again after the market. Again, thank you for joining us from our beautiful office in Manoa, Hawaii. This is the Financial Reboot Investment Team. Aloha.